Over the past 60 years, the Nature Conservancy has protected more than 120 million acres of land, but in the process it has also preserved an array of historically significant sites. In Ketchum, Idaho, conservation and cultural preservation go hand in hand as the Conservancy works to restore the spring-fed creek where Ernest Hemingway loved to hunt and fish.
If you want to experience Hemingway's Idaho, Silver Creek is the place to do it because it is pretty much exactly the same as when the Hemingways hunted and fished here.
Silver Creek is really an oasis for wildlife in the area. It is a spring creek, literally in the middle of the high desert. We get a lot of breeding birds that actually use the grasslands and the sagebrush for their nesting habitat, and then they use the riparian for the water and the insects. Some of the highest densities of insects here, so we actually get an amazing trout population. It's just a really rich and full place, all kinds of life.
The very first time Ernest Hemingway came to Silver Creek, he wrote a letter to his son Jack saying, "You'll love it here. I have to bring you here next year because there are more trout and more ducks than any place I've ever seen." And so Jack records being very excited about the prospect of seeing this place called Silver Creek. And it ended up playing an important role in Jack Hemingway's life and in the Nature Conservancy's work here.
Jack fell in love with the area, just as his father predicted, and in 1975, when a stretch of that high desert habitat came up for sale, Jack contacted the Nature Conservancy, which purchased it and created Silver Creek Preserve.
Silver Creek is a very unique spring creek system, and in order to protect this Silver Creek, you need to really focus on the wetlands and the springs and the tributaries that come into Silver Creek.
It was really Jack that is responsible for getting the Nature Conservancy involved here. And it was because of his love of fishing and the opportunity that he saw to preserve something for future generations. I will tell you that Jack, after the Nature Conservancy had owned this for 20 years, told me more than once, he said, "Silver Creek is better now than it was when I first got here."
This sense of history is even more pronounced at Hemingway's former house in Ketchum that has been bequeathed to the Conservancy. Finding the right balance between protecting artifacts and providing access is a challenge, but it helps people understand why the restoration is important.
The goal of the Nature Conservancy at the Hemingway house is to keep it as it was when Ernest Hemingway lived there. And there are 10 acres of the Big Wood River that flow by the Hemingway house, and that is also protected as a nature preserve for the deer and beaver and elk that live in the area. Ernest Hemingway's writings are timeless. They're something that people still read to this day. Jack Hemingway's legacy is the conservation of special places in Idaho, including Silver Creek. And it's a place where generation after generation return to see the sun rising and to see trout rising and to reconnect with families much as the Hemingways did.